Good morning, guys. I'm just going to share this right fast. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show, where we are having confessions and conversations about your everyday life. My name is Yamitra Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. What better place to be than here with me? I don't know why we sing that part, but that's okay. Hope you guys are ready to get this day started. I hope you had a good day on yesterday. Hope you were safe. Please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel where they can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows over there. We have about almost 450 shows over there. So since November of 2017, 18, 19, 20, 2017, I have been, we've been doing the Fearless Morning Show. So there are a lot of videos over there. And if you're, I don't know why that looks so blurry. And if your friends and family do not have Facebook, that's the YouTube channel. We have a podcast. It is called the Live Past Crazy Show. If they don't do any social media, we have books available. There are 5, soon to be 6. If you would like, if you don't feel like going to search for it, simply send me a link and I will send the link to you so you can purchase any of the books. And don't forget, Sunday is the book, our grand virtual opening of the Read Fearless bookstore. Knowledge is heavy. bit.ly/read fearlessly. Let me put that in here. To sign up because it will be in a Facebook group. So I want to, make sure that you guys can get in so that you can be a part. Now, for the book store, only thing that I'm asking for the first couple of weeks is that you pay for shipping of the book. That's all you have to pay is for the shipping. And after that, then you'll have to pay. We'll do that for the first 2 weeks, and then after that you'll have to pay for the actual book and the shipping. But join me, I'm excited. All right, guys. This week has been a really good week. If you missed Monday's show, I did the ugly cry Monday, and that's okay. We talked about when opportunity looks hard and you staying where you are is disturbing who you are. And then yesterday we talked about being a strange bird and what it means to be different. And what does it mean when it says your dreams and your vision will perish? Without dreams and vision, you will perish. What does that mean? So we talked about that yesterday and what will happen when you begin to grow. So today we're going to talk about the 7 ways to reclaim your power. But let's get to the quote of the day first. I have 2 because y'all know I love quotes. And so I have 2 of them today because I couldn't decide. So R.G. Lord is who we're getting quotes from today. Your silence will not protect you. That's by R.G. Lord. Your silence will not protect you. You not saying nothing is not working. You not saying nothing is the same as you not doing nothing. Your silence will not protect you. The second quote, when we speak, we are afraid our words will not be heard. I can't type. When we speak, we are afraid our words will not be heard or welcome. But when we are silent, we are still afraid. So it's better to speak. And that is also by Audre Lorde. And I feel all of those quotes, because sometimes we are afraid to speak up. We're afraid to say anything. We are afraid to voice our opinion or share our thoughts, even though we know something is wrong. And you're afraid to do that. And You're afraid when you're silent, and you're afraid to speak up. But you want your voice heard, and you can't have it both ways. So it is better to speak. Your silence will not protect you. When we speak, we are afraid our words will not be heard or welcome. But when we are silent, we are still afraid. So it is better to speak. And both of those are by Audre Lorde. And y'all know I love her. I need to read some of her books. I came across one of her quotes, but I've never read any of her books. If anybody has, let me know what you thought about them, or if you like them. I know she's an activist, or she was an activist, and so I'm going to see if I can't find one of her books. If you read one, please let me know. All right, so let's get right into the fearless thought of the day, which is the 7 ways to reclaim your power. Because there's a quote, and I forget whose quote this is, that oftentimes we forget. The easiest way to forget that you have power is for someone to have it taken from you. I'll find that quote as we're thinking. But this is my quote. So you are so powerful that you have convinced yourself that you are powerless. That's by JoJo. You are so powerful, you have convinced yourself that you are powerless. So let's talk about how we're going to reverse engineer that, because we are engineers, right? And we are in Engineering School 101. And we have all the tools in our hand to do the things that we need to do. So 7 ways to reclaim your power. So write these down so you can have them to think about for future references. At any time you may think that you don't have any power, or if you assume that you don't have any power. And this is coming from the book today, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Feel the fear and do it anyway. This book is really good. This book will hurt your feelings. It will step on your toes. It will, but it will help you. Good morning, Tiffany. This book is really good. Feel the fear and do it anyway. If you're just beginning on any journey, whatever it looks like for you, whatever your journey is, if it is for self, if it is whatever, you just want to think something differently for a second, that you start here. I would recommend start with You're a Badass. That's a book. And then this book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. This book is good. Okay. So we're going to talk about the 7 ways to reclaim your power. And they kind of go with the theme all week. And I didn't know there was a theme. Again, if you missed Monday's show, Monday was my favorite show. Yes, I ugly cried on Monday. Yes, there was snot and tears everywhere because I got my whole life on Monday. I've learned some things after I went back and watched it. I took notes myself on Monday. We talked about when opportunity looks hard. And then yesterday, the challenges are gifts that force us to search for a new center of gravity. Don't fight it. Find a new way to stand. That's by Oprah. So today we're going to talk about the 7 ways to reclaim your power. What that looks like. So write these down, and later today I will post them. But it comes from the book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And I've read this book about 4 times, and each time I read it, I find something more and more. Our quotes for the day: Your silence will not protect you, by Audre Lorde. When we speak, we are afraid our words will not be heard or welcome. But when we are silent, we are still afraid. So it is better to speak, by Audre Lorde. Because have you ever wanted to say something, but it's eating you up on the inside because you're afraid to say it? It's going to continue to eat you up on the inside. So it's better. And you're like, well, I have something to say, but you won't say it. You need to say it anyway. So it's better to speak. Learn to find the words to articulate what it is that you want. And find words that feel good in your mouth. Meaning they feel good when you say them. Find words that do that. All right. So 7 ways to reclaim your power. Number 1 is to avoid casting blame on outside forces for your feelings about life. Stop blaming other people, places, or things for how you feel about life. Confessions and Conversations, JoJo. I had to learn this the hard way because I put everything on my abuser. He the reason why I'm sad. He was the reason why I was sad, depressed, had postpartum. He was the reason for all of that. But eventually, in order for JoJo to survive, I had to stop. Because once I removed myself from the situation, I had to then begin to focus on me and not continuously look at that thing as a defining my life statement. Like I can't always be the victim. And at that point, I had to realize if I'm not always going to be the victim, I've got to tell a different story for myself. I need a new life statement. Because sometimes, and whatever you've been a victim of, if somebody broke your heart, they hurt your feelings, whatever it is, if you continue to hold on to that, that will become your life statement. It will become what you're known for, period. So avoid casting blame for your feelings about how you feel in life. Hard lesson learned. Now, once I couldn't control what he did to me, nope. And I felt what I felt, absolutely. But in the growth process of JoJo getting past that, I had to focus on me. Number 2 is avoid blaming yourself for not being in control. This is all confessions and conversations, JoJo, because I've been all of these steps. And at some point, I relive them. The good thing is once you realize these, you are able to redirect yourself. So number 2 is avoid blaming yourself for not being in control. You are doing the best you can, and you are the only one who can reclaim your power. And you're the only way it can happen. So stop blaming yourself. So after I left my abuser, my conversation with myself then was, well, JoJo, you were stupid for marrying him in the first place. You knew. People tried to, and that's and so I had to forgive myself first. And I had to stop blaming myself. We wouldn't be in this predicament had you did this and this and this. So we've got to stop blaming ourselves, because at the time you made the best decision that you could. Now we are reverse engineering our power, right? So now we have better ways to make better decisions, and we have better tools in which to do that. So avoid blaming yourself for not being in control. It's okay. Give yourself some grace. Good morning, Miss Cree. Number 3, be aware of when and where you are playing the victim. Learn the clues that you tell you that you're not being responsible for what you're being, having, doing, or feeling. So be aware of when you choose to play the victim. Be aware of that. Confessions and conversations, JoJo style. You got to be aware of when you, and here, playing the victim, and I know y'all heard me say this before, playing the victim, some of us, we get caught up in that and we enjoy that because we like the outcome that comes with that. And I want you to think about this. I hope you guys are writing these down. Think about this. Think about people and or yourself in your life. And have you thought about people who every time you talk to them, they have a reason or an answer for why they can't do, be, or anything? I would do this, but I ain't got no money, and because I live in this place and I can't do this, and and I have these restrictions, and I have this and I have that, and they are so used to telling their story of lack, their story of downtrodden, their story of my life ain't nothing and I'm so depressed and sad and I ain't ever gonna be nothing because they did this and they did that, and they're so used to telling that story they can't fathom telling another story. So when you introduce something new to them, like, girl, you could do this so that you don't have to do that. Oh, well, I've been a single mother my whole life, and that's why some women don't want to be married, because they like the stigma of saying they like playing the victim of I'm a single mother, or I had to work hard. I'm the only one taking care of these kids, and we get attached to the victim mentality of life because we like the outcome of it. Because as long as I can tell you I'm a single mother, as long as I can tell you life is hard, as long as I can tell you I'm a survivor of domestic violence, as long as I can tell you my sad story, you are going to, 1, feel sorry for me, 2, give me the sympathy that I'm looking for, or 3, give me something that makes me feel better. And because I'm not willing to let go of what you're giving me, I'm not changing my story. That makes sense? So you have people that say, girl, I can't, if I didn't have food stamps, I couldn't make it. If I didn't have house, and I couldn't make it. If I didn't have this, I couldn't make it. Girl, I can't make no more than what I'm making now. I can't do no more than what I'm doing now. And they're attached to the outcome of their story. They're attached to the story. And they know that when they play the victim role, certain things are going to happen. Now, if they stop playing the victim role, they would have to then have a new story to tell. And that's hard work, because they don't want to tell a new story, because that's a process. That's a process of, oh, well, maybe I was willingly and voluntarily participating in this thing. Oh, well, maybe where I am, maybe I contributed to that part. They're not ready to have that conversation. So they'd rather stick with the victim mentality, play the victim role to get what they need to get from you. Does that make sense? Be aware of when and where you're playing the victim role and why. What are you gaining from that? A lot of people, they're not changing it because they gained something from telling that story. Number 4, familiarize yourself with your biggest enemy, which is your self-talk. Your chatterbox. That person that don't ever be quiet. As soon as you want to live right, when you're trying to eat right, and you like, let me go ahead and drink this juice and let me do this and work out. In that chatterbox, that self-talk says, girl, you want them tater chips. You've been eating them tater chips your whole life. Ain't your mama ate them chips. Your mama big and you big bone, and you don't eat like that. You might as well go ahead. Familiarize yourself with your biggest enemy, which is your self-talk. How are you communicating with yourself? I've been guilty of all the above. Period. Number 5, figure out the payoffs that keep you stuck. What are you gaining by staying where you are? Which kind of goes with number 3, be aware when you're playing the victim. Because if we can figure out what payoffs that we're getting by staying where we are, maybe we can eliminate ourselves playing the victim. It's going to take you paying attention, JoJo, to what you're doing. Absolutely. What are you gaining by staying where you are? So look at the people who love to tell the story, even if it's you. You love to tell the victim story so that people give you that. What is the payoff? Is it because you get that sympathy, that empathy? Perhaps they give you money. Perhaps they feel sorry for you and they do things for you that you don't have to worry about doing yourself. And so you enjoy that part. Because you enjoy that part, you enjoy the payoff. Here's a big one. And please take this with all the love I have for everybody. Figuring out the payoffs that keep you stuck. Here's a big one that I see, and I don't think people, I'm a strange bird. We talked about that yesterday. So listen to my rationale for this. Figuring out what's the payoff for staying where you are. Some of us, it is our health. If we could not be sick, we couldn't be anything. Some of us glorify our illness so that we can stay stuck. We glorify our lack of health to keep us where we are. We glorify all the medicines we take, how big we are, our limitations because of our health. We do that because that allows us to play the victim. And because I'm playing the victim, it's also going to keep me stuck. And so we use our health as an absolute catch-all for why we can't do anything. Well, I'm diabetic, so I can't travel too far. I won't go too far from my doctor. I'm overweight, so I can't be walking up and down that hill. I got high blood pressure, so I can't be doing this. The doctor said I have this and this and this and this and this and this and this, and I got to take all these medicines, so I can't do this, this, and this, and this. So your payoff is that you get to play the victim, and it keeps you stuck, and you don't have to do anything about it. You see how that's one big picture? How three and five go together? Because let me tell you, this is my firm belief. Your body is ill, absolutely. You may have high blood pressure, you may have diabetes, you may be overweight, you may have all the things, but your mind is not. This is not. The physical part of you may have those illnesses, but this part does not. And my friend, until you realize, good morning, until you realize that this is your superpower that can control this, you will always stay stuck in here, and you will always play the victim. You will always be stuck, and then you will never be able to realize the biggest enemy of you is you. Guilty of all the above. Let me give you an example. Confessions and Conversations, JoJo style. I know that there are certain things I cannot eat. It's bread, wheat, anything white, soda, chocolate, anything fried, meat. I know I need to stick with fruits and vegetables. If I do not stick with fruits and vegetables, I have trouble swallowing. I not only have trouble swallowing, I call it hurting my voice, but it makes it harder for me to talk because all the things that I've eaten that I cannot have, and I've done it for so long, has messed up my esophagus. And in order to speak clearly without having to clear my throat every 2 seconds, is to stick with the diet that I know I need to stick with, which is the fruits and vegetables. And I can have some seafood in there. But I cannot overindulge or do all the extra things. Now, you probably wouldn't know this, but the past week or so, 2 weeks or so, I have had pasta, I've had toast, I've had a biscuit, and I've had a steak. In the past week and a half, every morning my voice sounds like Barry White as soon as I wake up. I have had to clear my throat a gazillion times during the morning show. I have to keep water handy, and I have to drink a lot of teas to reset my body to where it needs to be because I wasn't doing what I needed to do. So when I figured out, and here's the thing, I could say all day, oh, I want to speak and I want to do this thing, but I got this problem with my throat. That was keeping me stuck, right? But as soon as I became aware of what was keeping me stuck and I did something about it, I freed myself up to go and do what I needed to do. I'll tell you why it's easy. Thank you for such a great question, Ms. Thoughts. Why is it so easy to have negative thoughts? I'll tell you why it's easy to have negative thoughts, because it's easy. It's easy to have negative thoughts because that's what we've always done. Because we have learned to self-talk that for so long. You have been conditioned to think negative about yourself, whether you want to believe it or not. Now, some may have been blessed with people who fed them and said, you're bright, you're amazing. There's some who you got it sometimes you get it, and there's some that you didn't get it at all. But life, somewhere along the way, has conditioned you to think that you don't deserve it. And it is so much easier to say, I can't do something, instead of putting in the work to actually do something. Guilty on all fronts. And so this is what I had to do when I was trying to, when I first started, and I was trying to replace the bad with the good, right? I'm trying to do better with my thought process and thinking negatively. I literally, every time I had that thought, like, JoJo, you ain't ever gonna lose this weight. You ain't ever gonna lose this weight, JoJo, if you keep sitting here. So I talk back to myself. And then I said, well, at least try, because you can't say you can't do something, JoJo, if you didn't try. So do 5 push-ups and then come back and tell me you can't do it. Okay, you did 5 push-ups. Can you do 2 of this? And I started to replace my negative thought with a positive thought. JoJo, you're stupid. Now, JoJo, are you really stupid? You birth whole humans and you're guiding them through this world. So that part is not true. Oh, okay. It's that simple. But we've got to check our self-talk. And you got to be mindful of the negative Nellies and the Debbie Downers and the panic Patties. The panic Patties is your friend that when you call and you tell them something, they be like, girl, yes, honey, if I was you, I would do this, and no, you can't do that. And they are in straight panic with you. I was mindful of who I shared my negative thought was, because at some point when you're learning to self-talk with yourself and change that communication, because sometimes you're communicating the right thing to the wrong person. Sometimes you're communicating the wrong thing to the right person, and you are that person. And Panic Patty can come in and put you on 10,000 when you're trying to have a good thought. And here comes the negative. Well, you know, Panic Patty is right. I probably need to go off on them because they disrespecting me. So you got to be mindful. So when I was doing my change, and it was a gradual, slow process for me. It was so. I couldn't tell anybody. I chose to stop telling anybody any of my business because Panic Patties had me all over the place. Panic Patties, negative Nellies. They had me down in the dumps all day. Yes, ma'am, Miss Margaret. And so I had to stop telling my business. JoJo, what happened? Now tell me again what happened. Nothing. Ain't nothing happened. You sure? I had to correct my language with me first. But it's easy to fall into it because it's what you've always done. And it's your surrounding. And it's comfortable. Remember the quote from Monday, if you never lose sight of the shore? Who was that? Christopher Columbus. You got to lose sight of the shore. And some of us, we're not willing to lose sight of the shore because we had to leave what's comfortable. And we're not willing to do that yet. So 7 ways to reclaim your power. Number 1 is avoid casting blame for your feelings about life. Avoid blaming yourself for not being in control. You did the best you could at that moment. Number 3, be aware of where and when you start playing the victim. Number 4, familiarize yourself with your biggest enemy, which is yourself. Number 5, figure out what the payoff is for you being stuck. And I use the example of health. If you use your health as an excuse why you cannot go and do, again, your breath and your words need direction, right? So if you're using your health for the reason why you can't go and do, don't waste your words and your breath saying that. Be honest with yourself and say, I just don't want to go. I just don't want to do it. It ain't your health that stops you. It's not your physical limitations that stop you, boo. You got to start it here first. And then the rest of your body will follow. So your mind and your mouth, once they start communicating and you start saying what it is thinking, your body has no other option other than to follow you. So don't waste your words and your breath and your prayers asking for a thing that you never want to receive. You never want to receive that thing. So save your words and your breath and put it towards what you really want. I want to continue to take this medicine because I don't want to get better with this thing because it's going to require something of me and I'm not willing to do that something. So therefore, this will be my excuse for life. Use your words to explain that to yourself. You don't have to justify to anybody but you. And if you are comfortable doing that with yourself, then you become mindful of, then I ain't got to explain nothing. I ain't got to say nothing. Be mindful that your words and your breath have to have direction. And if you're not giving them any direction, they're going to keep falling flat and you're going to keep tripping over them. So please, let's not use your health, because I absolutely have used my health as a reason why I could not go and do. And the second I got that under control, because I figured out I had to pay attention to what I was receiving by saying my health was my problem, and it wasn't enough to keep me where I was at, then I started to move. Yes, ma'am. And a decision made is a decision made. Making a decision is not the hard part. The hard part is you following up and dealing with the ramifications of the decision. You can say, you know what, JoJo, you're right. I'm not going to use my health as an excuse where I can't go and do anymore. That's an amazing thing. I'm proud of you. That was easy said. It's easier said than done. The hard part is you actually walking that out. And because you're not willing to do that part of the work, you stay here. Same thing with blessings. The same thing with your prayers. You ask for things that you don't even believe that you're going to receive. But I ain't going to say you wasting your breath, but I'm saying you could probably use your breath and your words for something that better suits you than saying things that you don't believe. I don't want you to be inspired. I don't want you to feel motivated. I don't want any of those things. I want you to be committed that this is what you're willing to do. Exact. Thank you, Miss Margaret. So number 6 is determine what you want in life and act on it. 7 ways to reclaim your power. Number 6 is determine what you want in life and act on it. For me, it has been The Power of Now. And that is a book by Eckhart Tolle. And The Power of Now has taken away every opportunity for me to say no to myself. The Power of Now has taken away every opportunity of me saying no to myself. Meaning, Georgia, you have an idea, act on it now. And here is where you can stop yourself. Georgia, you can't do that because, your right knee hurt and you ain't done that in a while and you haven't done this. And so here I am giving myself opportunity not to do something. But if you understand the power of now, if you do it now, you take away all your opportunities to say no to you. Yes, Miss Starks, walk it out. It starts here because you got to believe it first. Any growth journey is going to take a change of attitude. It's absolutely going to take a change of attitude by you. I don't care if it's the way you pray. It's going to take a change of attitude because you can't say a prayer and expect and then think that you're not going to receive it. You got to say the prayer and know that you're going to receive it. That's going to take you changing your attitude. Whatever religion you subscribe to. It talks about your mindset, it talks about your words, and it talks about you doing the work. All 3. Period. But this is your superpower. Your mind is your superpower. No one can see up here but you. So I suggest if you think changing your health or changing your financial situation or your physical situation is hard, okay, start here first. And what happens here is that you're free up here all day. In your mind, there are no limitations if you allow it to be so. And then when you think the thought, amazing things begin to happen. Your brain will set out to do the thing that you said you wanted. Absolutely. It is not responsible. So number 6, determine what you want in life and act on it now. And you can say, JoJo, but I can't do that. You do it every single morning. Every morning, your words and your breath, you gave them direction to get up, for coffee to be in your house, for you to have something to eat, for you to go to the store, for you to do your hair. You gave them direction and your body followed. So you do it every day. You just need to be more consciously aware of what you're doing. And number 7 is be aware of the many choices you had in action and in feelings, and choose the path that contributes to your growth and makes you feel at peace about yourself and others. So I think number 7, which is 7 ways to reclaim your power, is important because you have choices. You think you don't, but boo, you do. You have plenty of them, but because your mind has not been set to comprehend them yet, you don't know that. Let's go back to my quote. Never close your mind to an idea simply because it's miraculous. And that's what many of us are doing. We all are millionaires in here, but because we think we have no power, right? We don't act on them. We watch them go by. That could have been me, absolutely. But did you act on it? You have more choices than you know. Your situation may look this way, but did you think about the possibilities of the thing? So that's the point of the Fearless Morning Show, to give you a safe space just for a few minutes of the day to think on the possibilities of the thing. To think, and you can call me crazy. I'm officially the only Live Past Crazy specialist. Thank you, United States Patent Office and Trademark. I greatly appreciate you. So you can call me crazy because it's official. Jojo, she may be crazy, but let me try to think about now, if I really wanted to do this, how would I do it? Your brain will give you the answers just like that. It's not giving you the answers now because you don't want them. Let's go back to I love this example. When you tell a kid, if you're a mother, shoot, anybody, you go tell a kid, go in my room and bring me that lotion off the dresser. Go in the bathroom and bring me some medicine. Go get me a hair bow. Go in there and get the stuff you need to do your hair. You've given directions, right? And they come back, Ma, I can't find it. I can't find it. I don't know where it is. It ain't in there. And then what do you say? Girl, boy, if I get up and I go in there and I find that thing, I'm going to tear your behind up. So then what happens? They go in there and they find the very thing that they said they could not find. So this is how the mind works. This is how beautiful your mind is. 1, they didn't want to go. 2, they didn't want to find it. 3, they said the words, I don't see it, before they even got there. So when you say, I don't know, I don't see, I don't understand, whatever you say, I don't, your brain instantly hides whatever you said after that. So when your kid says, I don't see the comb, Mama, her brain said, oh, she doesn't want to see it. Let me hide it from her face. When it could be the only thing in the room would be a comb, and she couldn't see it because she said, I don't see it. And her mind hid it from her. Now she comes back to you and you threaten to tear that behind up. And she changes her words to say, let me go find this comb for my mama. She goes in the room and picks the comb up in the exact same spot. What happened was this time, she said, let me find it. And her brain said, oh, this is what she's looking for. This is what she's seeking. Let me give it to her. That's brain science 101. That's about as easy as I can get it. So that is what you're doing every single day. You are your child. You don't understand. I can't move. I can't release this way. I can't. And whatever you said can't after, your brain did that for you. It said, oh, you can't lose the weight. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, okay, well, let me hide all of those things that you said you can't do because you don't want them. Your words are powerful. And you got to give them direction every day. And if you keep telling your words what they can't do, they're going to give you exactly that. That's how your brain works. I love brain science. And that's brain science 101. So today, just for today, I dare you to think about, be mindful of what you say you can't do today. Be mindful of, Jojo, I can't do that. And then whatever comes out of your mouth after that, watch you not be able to do that. You want to know how that's evident? Look at where you are right now. I can't make no more than $10 an hour. Every job that pays more than that, you can't find it. Because you said you didn't want it. So your brain wants to give you exactly what you... If your brain wants to give you exactly what you say, would you not give it more to do? Would you not say... Today, I've been practicing for a whole week, y'all, and this has been amazing. Today, I give my breath and my words direction to do this. And it happens. As we talked about yesterday, the divine lives in you. And if we are created in the divine's image, right? And his words do not return to him void. So if I'm in his image, I have his words. So what I say cannot come back to me void, correct? Can we make it that simple? So your words and your breath need direction. Didn't he say life and death are here? He said that. So can we take that seriously today? So we are reverse engineering how to regain our power. 7 ways to reclaim your power. All right, the quote of the day. Your silence will not protect you. You being quiet about the thing ain't helping you, boo. When we speak, we are afraid our words will not be heard or welcome. But when we are silent, we are still afraid. So it is best to speak. By Audre Lorde. You being silent about the thing ain't helping you and ain't helping nobody else. It's actually making it worse. So we're reverse engineering our 7 ways to reclaim our power, because right now you are so powerful. You are convincing yourself you are powerless. That's how amazing your brain is. Your brain is so powerful that you told yourself you can't do something. You overrode the divine that was in you. You overrode the God that was in you to tell God, I can't do this. Yes, you reside in me. Yes, you lead and guide me, but you don't know me. So I'm going to override you with my thoughts and tell you that I can't do a thing, even though you put me here to do a thing. And you're going to tell me that you have no power? Does that make sense? You are extremely powerful. You just got to pay attention to how you're using it. How are you using it, and what are you using it for? So 7 ways to reclaim your power, and I hope these have helped somebody. Please write them down. If they have, please let me know so I know that I'm not talking to myself. And all 7 of these I have been through at some point in time, and some of them I revisit quite frequently because I get stuck. So number 1, and they come from the book Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Okay. Number 1 is avoid casting blame for your feelings about life. Avoid casting blame onto outside forces about your view on life. Number 2, avoid blaming yourself for not being in control. You're doing the best you can with what you got. You're on your way to reclaiming your power. See, number 2, you can get stuck because you can say, JoJo, I can't believe I was that stupid. Forgive yourself, boo. Grant yourself some grace. I've been there and done that. Okay? Grant yourself some grace. The point is, we're taking back control. That's what we need to focus on. This happened. I can't fix it, okay? And some things y'all have to make very black and white. I can't fix what happened in my past. I cannot. But from this day, I have a new foundation. So I can go. And y'all, my favorite Bible verse. And if there's some Bible scholars, so I love the Bible, but I get the scriptures mixed up. So somebody find this for me. In Isaiah, I want to say it's 54. Might be 45. I transpose numbers. It might be 54. When I was going through my second divorce, because I've been married a couple of times, I was so hurt. Like, can I not get this right? JoJo, do you not understand being married? Do you not? And so one day as I'm praying, this is how, prayer and you believing that you can have got to go hand in hand. Lord, y'all, they have laid all the hands on me. I have been laid out on the altar. Jesus, fix it. And then I'm at home cleaning up my room in the Bible, and I was like praying. I moved the Bible, opened up to this part of the book. It opened to this. I didn't open it. And it said, you were a wife of your youth. I hid myself from you for a little while, but I'm not going to anymore. The Lord your God is your husband. Oh, okay. And because you did those things, I hid myself, but that's okay, because guess what? Your foundations are made of rubies. Oh, okay. And then it kept giving me everything that I needed. And then it said, if you take the sides off your tent, I could enlarge it. But because you want to keep them closed up and insisting on this thing, I can't give you more. But if you take the sides off your tent, I could give you this. And you'll know the scripture because at the very end it says, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. I think the good stuff is at the beginning of it because it tells you about your foundations. So as I was blaming myself because I wasn't in control and I was beating myself up, I had to realize I was doing the best I could with what I had. And that I was on my way to reclaiming that. So I can't go back and fix this, but from this point, I can do this. Number 3 is be aware of when and where you're playing the victim. Why are you playing the victim of this thing? Learn the clues that tell you that you're not being responsible. Some of us like playing the victim because it alleviates the responsibility of us doing something about it. As long as I can be the victim of this thing, I don't have to work on this thing. Number 4, familiarize yourself with your biggest enemy, which is your self-talk, which is you. Number 5, figure out the payoffs that keep you stuck. And I use the example of your health. Some of us use our health as the exact reason why we're stuck, when your health is not the reason why you're stuck. Your health has nothing to do with what you need to do in life. Your health may physically stop you from moving, but your mental is free to do whatever you want to do. And when your mind and your mouth agree, when the tongue in your mouth and the tongue in your shoe line up, ain't nothing that can stop you. Period. So figure out the payoffs that keep you stuck and why. What are you gaining by staying there? Number 6, determine what you want in life and act on it. The power of now. Don't give yourself opportunities to say no to you. And number 7, be aware of the many choices you have. You have numerous astronomical choices at this moment. When you think you have not one, I promise you have at least 5. At least 5. So just for a second, just for the day, I dare you to think about the possibilities of the thing. You can call me crazy. You can say, Jojo, you always want me to do something, think something stupid. Okay. Can you think it anyway, though? But can you do it anyway, though? And then once you understand that you have more choices in your actions and in your feelings, now I want you to choose a path that contributes to your growth and makes you feel at peace about that decision. So those are the wonderful 7 ways to reclaim your power. I have been through every step. And let me tell you something, what you learn on this journey is that sometimes you got to revisit those steps. I may have learned it, boo, but that don't mean I don't need to learn it again. And it came from this book. Feel the fear and do it anyway. This is a really, really good book. So on this wonderful day, I want you to be amazed. I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Lakemore. I appreciate it. I'm so glad that you joined me for the Fearless Morning Show. If this is your first time, I appreciate you being here with me, because I am the only Live Past Crazy specialist, so what better place to be than here with me. Do not forget, we have Sunday. We have the opening of my bookstore. I'm so excited, y'all. And that was truly the power of now right there. So please make sure you sign up for the bookstore so that you can get in the group. All I'm asking is that you pay for shipping right now. When I took away me saying no to me, books appeared to the tune of almost 500 and something books. There's nowhere to sit in my living room, but that's okay. I have nowhere to put any more bookshelves, but that's okay too. So make sure you join me Sunday, June 28th at 2 p.m., which is this Sunday. Y'all, my birthday is Monday. I am excited. So I hope, y'all, my back is itching. I hope these 7 steps have helped you. If it has, please let me know. And please make sure you share, because I cannot do this by myself. Don't forget the Sister Rise Retreat is coming up October the 16th through the 18th in Savannah, Georgia. I think I have 10 tickets left. This is a different, it ain't going to be your regular retreat, so be prepared for that. It's going to be something different. If you go there, you can find out more information, or you can send me a question. I'll be more than glad to help you. Don't forget to share the show. If your friends and family don't have Facebook, there is a YouTube channel. They can binge watch over 400 and something videos over there. I've been in this 3 years, and it has been my honor and my pleasure to share with you some of the things that help me to live past crazy every day. And the things that I've learned that I don't want you to go down that road. I don't want you to feel what I feel. I don't want you to have the anger and the frustration. And if I can give you just something that makes you go, just for a second, just for 2 seconds, then I have absolutely done what I was put here to do. I am my sister's keeper. I'm a firm believer. If I can help one sister who can change her family, who will then change the community, we will change the world. So if I've helped you today, you are now responsible for going to tell a sister who will tell a sister, and all the sisters telling sisters. We are changing our families, our communities, and we are changing the world. It is that simple, but we seem to make it that complicated. So I hope you have an amazing day. I want you to be peaceful, period, because there's nothing after that. And I'll leave you with a quote. When we speak, we are afraid our words will not be heard or welcome. But when we are silent, we are still afraid. So it is better to speak. Audrey Lord, today I encourage you to speak to yourself and think about the ways that you're going to reclaim your power and speak that out loud. Give your words and your breath direction today. Try it for just the next 35, 40 minutes to an hour and tell me what you come up with. I promise you will be amazed. Give them words something. Go give your words something to do today besides sitting on you and you holding them. All right, guys, have an amazing day. And I'll see you here bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a good one.